Hi everyone. So welcome back to another episode of the Brenda Lee's podcast. So today I'm going to be talking about how to stop wasting your time on unimportant things. So one of the reasons why I feel like this is important to discuss and talk about today is because I feel like in this world that we live in overall, we waste our time on a lot of things that are not that important, or at least things that are less important compared to the things that are more important in our life that we should be more focused on. So I'm going to be talking about that today on this episode, and I'm also going to be giving you guys some tips that you can use that can help you to stop wasting time on unimportant things. And the reason why it's important to understand why you need to stop wasting your time on unimportant things is because there's better things to be more focused on. And I'm going to start off sharing some of the tips here. I'm going to share at least 6 tips. So the first one is make a list of things you need to do each day and stick to it. You can even create a to-do list. Try to complete some of those things on your to-do list, even if you pick like 3 things to do or whatever it is. 2, set a time limit for each task and stick to it. That's very important to do, and that's a good way to keep track of the time, and within the time frame you finished the task or got it done, or to just see how much time it took you to get that specific task finished. 3, take breaks, but don't let them turn into time wasters where you're taking too long of a break and time is kind of just passing by and you're not getting other things done that you should be doing. 4, learn to say no to things that will waste your time, which is what you always have the choice to do. And I feel like sometimes we hesitate a lot to say no when we know we have the choice to say no. You know, if you feel as though something is going to waste your time and you don't want to put no effort or waste your time into something that's not worth your time, you can always say no. You don't have to say yes, and you don't have to choose to do it just to make somebody else feel better or to make somebody else feel happy. Do whatever feels best to you for you to do. If you feel as though it will waste your time, it's no point, you don't want to do it, you can just say no, I'm not doing it. And then 5, focus on quality, not quantity. That's so important, and that rhymes. That's crazy, but that's a good one. And then 6, simplify your life and your schedule. It's really important to write everything out on how you want everything to be. Write out all the things you need to do, or whatever it is you need to do. Even if you have to break it down into sections or different parts for you to do each thing, do whatever works for you, but just make sure that you're getting these things done and you're actually doing it, and you're not just letting time waste and go by, and you're spending this time that's going by just doing absolutely nothing or not getting anything done. The whole point of setting up different things for you to do is for you to actually do it. Use the time to do it and complete it and get it done. Don't just let time go by and you don't do anything. Good one as well. Why should you not waste time on social media? So, social media is one of the things that is unimportant to spend your time on. And why I say that is because there's just so much toxic, negative stuff and non-good things that don't really come out of social media, that we spend a lot of our time with, and that we utilize a lot of our time in, and spend a lot of our time throughout the day being on social media, which is not the best for us. So I'm about to get into detail about why that's not really the best. So social media leads to digital addiction. The more you become addicted to it, the more you become so in tune with it, you constantly want to be on it. Why else do you think we're on our phones all the time, all day long? Or why we're scrolling through social media all day long? Whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever platforms you're on that you use. Why do you think we spend so much of our time and so much of our attention in tune into social media? Because it's everywhere. And we're on it all day long. And most of us use these platforms to connect with people, to post different things and different interests and stuff that we like. We use it for all different types of stuff. That's why we're so tuned into it. And the more we do it, the more addicting it becomes, to where it becomes a habit and you feel the need to just always be on social media all the time, nonstop. Like, you never really can get a break from it. There's never a time where we are not on social media. We're always on it. You know, it's like it becomes a part of our life and just a thing that we all do, which is not really healthy. Like, the more and more you just keep wasting your time and just letting time go by, you're wasting not just your own time on what you should be doing and what needs to be getting done pertaining to you, but you're wasting your time on other things as well, because you're just letting time go and you're letting whatever else go, and then nothing's getting done, and you're just in the midst and just in the moment of just not doing anything or getting anything finished because you're not doing it. That's wasting time, and that's what you don't want to do. You don't ever want to waste any time in life. You want to utilize every bits and pieces of time that you have doing whatever, even if it's the littlest thing. Utilize your time. Don't let none of your time go to waste. In the moment when you're given time, utilize it for whatever you need to utilize it for, whether it's something big or whether it's something small. Just use it for something. Don't let it go to waste, and don't just let it go by just acting as if, you know, it's whatever. I don't need to use the time for anything. Use the time for everything. At one point, I felt the need to be on all these social media platforms, such as like Instagram, Snapchat, all these different things that other people were on that I used to connect with through people and through other things as well. I felt the need to have all these platforms at one point too, because everybody else had it. And because everybody else was on it, and people were making such a big hype out of it, and people were talking about the things they do on these platforms and apps, and I felt the need to have it too. But throughout time, when I had it, I felt like it came to waste at some point in my life because I wasn't really utilizing it as much. And not just because I wasn't utilizing it as much, but just because I felt like it just took up unnecessary space on my phone for other things that it could have been used for that are more important, and things that I actually could see myself actually utilizing and using and putting into use, instead of things that I'm not putting into use as much. So I eventually got rid of those platforms and those apps that I had. Like I talked about before, how I used to have Snapchat, how I used to have Instagram, how I used to have all these other things, and then I got rid of it because I didn't see the purpose of it anymore. I felt like it became a waste of time. Even sometimes when I go out and I meet people and we interact and we want to exchange phone numbers or social medias or whatever, a lot of times I have to tell people, you know, when they ask me about Instagram or Snapchat, I have to say I don't have it. And they may think, you know, that's hard to believe that, you know, a young girl my age don't have this stuff, but I don't. I once had it and I got rid of it for my own reasonings, but my reasonings was understandable to why I got rid of it. I got rid of it because I felt like a lot of the time people would post a lot of things that were very negative. People would post a lot of things that gravitated towards drama and, you know, beef and stuff that they were having with people, different types of things that they had going on with other people who they were having problems and issues with. And a lot of times they will post that on their social media. Like, I'll never forget this time when I still had an Instagram account and I used to view other people's stories who I used to follow. I'll never forget that one time this person posted on their story that they were going to, you know, do some really harmful stuff to this other person, and then they posted it on their story and a lot of people were viewing it. And I happened to click on this person's story, view what they posted, and I just clicked out of it, and I just said to myself, like, I don't know if I want to stay on these platforms no more. I don't even know if I want to still have an Instagram or a Snapchat anymore. Like, I don't even know if I see the purpose of even keeping any of this stuff anymore, because it was just the stuff that I would see on there and the stuff that people would post on there and the stuff that I would come across on a daily. It was just becoming too much, and I feel like it was just becoming unhealthy for me as a person. It was bringing things and certain energy within my life and towards me that just didn't feel right. So I just felt the need to just get rid of all of it, the whole nine. I felt like if I get rid of one, I got to get rid of the other. The same type of stuff I was seeing on Instagram, I was seeing on Snapchat too. On Snapchat, it wasn't any better. You have a lot of weird people on a lot of apps, which is completely out of our control, but there's weird people and weird things happening everywhere all the time. But I just didn't feel safe with having these things and being on these things anymore. I felt like it just got to a point where it just became too much for me, and I felt the need that my best bet was to just disconnect from all of it, stay off of it, and I will be a lot better off. And all this other stuff, there's just so much, but you're only one person. There's but so much you can do at one point. There isn't so much you can do at one time. Okay, take it easy. Do not overwork yourself, but make sure that you're utilizing your time to get things done that you actually need to get done, but important things that you need to actually get done. Okay. All right, guys, I hope you learned something in today's podcast episode, and I hope that you utilize some of these tips and strategies that I share with you guys. I hope some of you utilize them, and I hope it changes something for you. And if it don't, just know it will. Trust the process. Everything takes time. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye.